to move it, move it.
Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Coast Entertainment Network. That's right, I am Ace, but tonight my name is going by Rangers, Super Cena. You can't just call him Cena, you have to call him Super Cena, because when somebody can't be beat, you know what happens. They always bring in what's known as Super Cena. So you kind of knew that was coming, because you can't see him. That's right, Mr. Super Cena, he's coming back. And then, of course, we're joined tonight by none other than, normally he goes by Chris P. Bacon, but tonight we went ahead and we changed his name to I Love The Miz, because I'm right there with him. I like The Miz too, but you know what? Chris loves The Miz. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and jump also into Mr. Dragon Viper, the president and founder of the RK Bro fan club. So how are you doing tonight, sir?
Well, besides that, I'm doing good.
Isn't he also co-owner of the New Day?
He is co-owner of the New Day. He is
Dave Rocks.
Nope.
Yes, he's co-owner of the New Day. All right, and then of course he's here tonight. He's back. He's back in the flesh. That's right. That is the one, the only Mess Around Dave. How are you doing tonight, my man?
Yeah, I am fantastic. And this event I can't wait to get into what we're going to cover tonight. It was so awesome having the fans back. Totally made the show.
And you know what's interesting about it is we sit there and we talk, so much badly about, booking and WWE and everything else. But I think tonight, I don't think it really mattered. And the only reason I'm saying I don't think it really mattered is simply based upon because of the simple fact that the audience was back. That is why. With the live crowd back, it makes it so much better. Enjoyed it so much more. And you could totally tell that every WWE superstar was into it more because all the fans were back. They were putting their hearts and souls on the line out there, doing everything they could to put on the best show for everybody out there.
Well,
so,
I mean, you have each other, but you have who you're going up against, but you also have to factor in the crowd.
Well, yeah.
Of the matches,
well,
so.
when you listen to live interviews of wrestlers, they come out and tell you that a big part of the match and a big part of what they do is basically feeding off the energy that the crowd gives you.
Yeah,
that's like a big part of it.
Much better.
Okay. All right. Well, since we're going to be talking about SummerSlam, why don't we go ahead and just jump right into it? So when we jump right into it, we have that first match of the night to kick off SummerSlam. Well, actually, let's not forget before we what?
Money in the Bank.
Yeah, but I'm saying let's not forget about it though.
Okay.
Money in the Bank, but I'm saying let's not forget about the pre-show match between the Usos and the Mysterios, because that was a match that happened, so it's definitely something we need to talk about. So with that, I think a lot of us actually, before Money in the Bank started, we actually had the Usos winning. I just didn't see the Mysterios picking up the victory in this. I kind of figured that the Usos were going to win. I figured that the Bloodline was going to have, those tag team belts, and then of course you have Reigns there. But anyway, I love the Miz. We're going to go ahead and we're going to start with you on this. What was your thoughts of the pre-show?
I thought the pre-show was good. I was hoping for the Mysterios to win. was hoping it was gonna stay with the father-son duo, but it was a good match overall. Like you said earlier, the crowd was in it. Everybody was excited. It was the first pay-per-view match, since the pandemic started. So, I mean, overall, I thought it was a good match.
All right, let's jump to you, Mr. Dragon Viper. What was your thoughts on it?
I thought it was also a really good match, and I was hoping for the Usos, so I'm glad to see that they end up winning, which means I'm glad that Dominic isn't champion anymore. So he still sucks at wrestling, but, I'm glad to see the Usos being tag champs again, so good for them.
I'm just saying, it kind of actually surprises me that you were going for the Usos when you think about it. And the only reason I'm saying that is simply due to the fact that we all know how we all feel about Reigns and this whole, head of the table, acknowledge me storyline going on. So that's why I was surprised that a lot of people were actually rooting for the Usos. However, even though I wasn't really rooting for them, I kind of knew they were going to win it anyways. I kind of saw that coming. But mess around, Dave.
Dominic.
Huh?
I said it's because Dominic was a champion, and I was going for the Usos because I didn't want to see Dominic champion. So that's why I went for him.
So mess around, Dave. We're going to jump to you on this. What was your thoughts on the whole pre-show?
Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary.
Penitentiary.
I'm so happy they're back to being champs. I can't not stand Dominic Mysterio. I mean, yeah, he's improved his last few matches. He seems to be getting a little better. The match was good overall. There's some good spots in there, but I think everybody knew that was watching knew the Usos were going to win. So,
yeah, you definitely knew that was coming for sure. But let's go ahead and jump into a few comments here. So Christy Wilson is on. She's saying, hello, gentlemen. She's also saying, I love John Moxley / Dean Ambrose. I think she meant to say, AKA in there, and that's okay. And Christy Wilson is also saying the crowd was awesome. She hated the tag match on the pre-show. Well, I'll tell you what, that was actually one of the best pre-show matches in a very, very long time. I actually enjoyed having that match on the pre-show because a lot of times when you watch a pre-show, the matches on the pre-show are not very good. But this one was the best one that I've seen in a very, very long time. And
Dominic's going to get better. I think this is his second match in front of a crowd since he's been in WWE.
Yeah.
As a wrestler. I mean, he's been on the sidelines, but it's his first match or second match in front of a crowd. So.
And then, of course, we welcome in Mr. Brandon Herrera, who's saying, what's up, guys? Hello, Brandon. How are you doing tonight? I hope that you're having a fantastic night. And speaking of, the Mysterios, we have more later to cover on that one, too, how they, got involved in a little other thing here, too. But all right, so let's go ahead and jump right into it here. The first match of the night for Money in the Bank. What do we have? We had the women's Money in the Bank match. And I'll tell you what, it actually wasn't bad. I actually kind of enjoyed the match. I thought it was pretty good. A little shocking, to say the least, on who won it. The ending was kind of interesting on how the match was won, though, when you think about it. You have them all on the ladder at the very end, and then Nikki, we should call her Ash, Nikki Ash, happens to be the only one on that side and reaches up and grabs the Money in the Bank briefcase. I'll tell you what, I was not expecting Nikki to win at all. That was not my first choice. I literally thought it was going to be Alexa Bliss or Liv Morgan. I thought that one of those two, I definitely thought were going to win it. I did not think Nikki Ash had a chance to win it. I knew it wasn't going to be Zelina Vega. I figured it wasn't going to be Natalya. I figured it wasn't going to be Tamina. But Dragon Viper, I'm going to start with you. What was your thoughts on this match?
I actually really liked this match. And, I mean, you're right. It was an interesting ending, kind of odd. But I agree with you. I was not expecting Nikki to win. I was hoping for Alexa Bliss to win, because it's been quite a while since she's done anything around the women's title. So
Weird.
I was kind of hoping that Bliss would win it. It's nice to see Nikki actually win it because she deserves it as well. So yeah, both of them. It was. The match itself was pretty good.
No, I'm not saying that the match was not good. I'm simply just saying the fact that it was completely and utterly shocking that Nikki was the chosen one. That was like the biggest shock to me, because I kind of knew that she was on a little bit of a streak of winning, but I didn't think that they were going to put the briefcase on her. And so, mess around. What was your thoughts on that?
Nikki Cross, what can I say? I'm not really disappointed she won. I just don't like her superhero gimmick. I really don't. It's not. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. I'm just not thrilled about the whole superhero thing. I just think it's stupid. But I had Liv Morgan winning it. That's who I wanted to win. She was starting to get a push, and they made it seem like she was going to win. The match was overall was okay. I like the spot where Nikki did the move, the crossbody up the top of the ladder, took everybody out. That was kind of cool. But yeah, it was an okay women's Money in the Bank match.
She can fly.
To me, it was actually a great way to start SummerSlam. I keep saying SummerSlam because we've been talking about SummerSlam for a while, so I keep trying to say that. But what I'm saying, though, is that to me, this was actually a great way to actually start the night when you truly think about it. What's better than to start the night with a women's Money in the Bank match? Because to me personally, if you start the night with Money in the Bank, if you start them with both of the Money in the Bank matches, at that point, it kind of leaves it open to whether you're thinking, okay, is somebody going to cash in or is somebody not?
Right.
Exactly. You never know at that point. That's why it kind of leaves it open to where you're like, you know what? Somebody could cash it in. But when you have a Money in the Bank match, and then you have one of the title matches, and then another title match, and then a Money in the Bank match afterwards, you're like, well, obviously nobody's cashing in on Lashley because Lashley already had his match. So at that point, you knew it wasn't going to happen. But
nope.
I'm saying that she's watching, and Brandon Herrera saying, breaking news, Dragon Viper liked the match. Yes, he did. He did like a match. Congratulations. He liked it.
Good job, Dragon Viper.
Good job on that one. All right. But Chris, I don't think I ever got your thoughts on this match.
No, I had Nikki Ash winning this. I don't know, because the last few weeks on Raw, she's won a few tag team matches. She's won a few matches against, Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, and she's just been on a winning streak over on Raw. So I figured they're trying to make a push for her to win the Money in the Bank. I thought it was interesting how they used 3 ladders and everybody was on top of each ladder. Then Nikki just climbs it and grabs it.
Yeah, that was
I'm
actually
happy for
kind
her.
of cool.
Yeah,
and that was actually kind of cool too. I actually thought at one point that I thought who was it? I believe it was Zelina Vega. I thought at one point that might actually reached up and actually won it when she was choking out Natalya on the ladder. She was reaching up and Natalya's like climbing. I'm like, no way they're gonna give the briefcase to Zelina Vega. I'm like, no way.
Well, I thought it was I thought it was clever too, where somebody was holding the ladder and Liv Morgan just started to climb it.
Oh yeah,
it wasn't even set; she was just climbing it. It's like
I didn't see them giving it to Zelina. Not with her coming back, and she got in trouble, and that's why she was released. So I didn't see them just automatically giving it back. Giving it to her. So.
Right. So how about we go ahead and we jump into the next match, which was the famous AJ Styles Omos versus Viking Raiders. This was kind of interesting because there was actually splits that were going on here to where some people, like over half people had Viking Raiders, over half the people had AJ Styles and Omos. I was watching another live feed to where, people were doing live and everything else, and they were talking about their predictions and everything with Money in the Bank, and they were kind of split 50-50. Some of them were saying that they had the Viking Raiders. Then the other ones were saying AJ Styles and Omos. I really did not even think that the Viking Raiders had a chance. AJ Styles and Omos haven't really had the belts for long enough yet to where I feel like anybody's going to be able to come in and beat them. I think that AJ Styles and Omos are going to have a significant run, and it's going to have to end up having to be the right tag team that's going to have to come in and beat them. Mess around, Dave. It looked like you were trying to say something.
RK Bro. That's the team that's going to take him out.
RK
Bro.
Other than that, what did you think of the match, though?
I like the match. Like I had Omos and AJ winning. Like you said, they just got the titles. They're not going to take them off them this soon. And Omos is just too dominant in the ring. When he gets in, it's pretty much curtains. I know that he could have been over a lot sooner, but they had to make a match go on longer. So,
yeah. I actually thought that the best part in the match, and I want to see if you agree with it, was when Omos had pushed Eric into Ivar. That was that was kind of cool when he's pinning him and he pushes him backwards and he breaks. At that point, I'm not gonna lie. At that point, I thought that the match might have been over. When I saw that, I'm like, oh, the Viking Raiders might actually win. And then Omos comes up and pushes them backwards. I'm like, oh, that was brilliant. That was kind of cool. All right. So we go to Chris now. Chris, what was your thoughts on this match?
It was a good match. I had Viking Raiders hopefully winning it, but they didn't. But it was still a good match. I thought it was kind of funny where Omos was trying to pin him and he just had one foot on him, and he's just standing there like, I'm just standing here, But they kicked out and match continued on, and it looked like he was about to fall, and Viking Raiders almost had a chance, but it was a good match. All
right, Dragon Viper, how about yourself?
I honestly enjoyed this match too. I was guessing that Omos and Styles were going to win, but I also was on the edge of the Viking Raiders winning, only because of the fact that this team deserves a tag title shot. They deserve the titles, and they're not small guys. They're not small like the New Day are and everything else, and the Viking Raiders are actually big guys. So I thought they had more of a chance than others did. So I was kind of on the fence, going for Omos and Styles, but also kind of going for the Viking Raiders. So
all right, so we have a few comments on the side here. We have Amy, who's saying that she was hoping that Bliss would win the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We have Christy Wilson, who I thought the tag team title match was pretty good. Surprised that AJ and Omos retained. I thought that the Viking Raiders were going to win, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it was kind of a big split decision between a lot of people. And then I don't know who would take down Omos. Well, it really depends. There are some big guys out there that potentially could. And then Mess Around, what was your thoughts on this match? You're on mute.
Which match? I was sharing the video, sorry.
Oh, no. You're good. We were talking about you might have already said it, but we're talking about AJ Styles and Omos and the Viking Raiders.
Oh, yeah, I already gave my opinion on this one.
Yeah, you are correct. Okay, so then we actually have our third match of the night, which I do believe was the squash match Bobby Lashley and Kofi Kingston, which I'm telling you right now, Mess Around actually called that before it happened. He said, "Oh, you know what? We're going to have a squash match." And guess what? That ended up happening. Kofi virtually had no shot in that one whatsoever. It was just a flat out just squash from the very beginning. It was just a beatdown of Bobby Lashley just giving a beatdown of Kofi from the very start. With Kofi had a few little moves in there at the very beginning, a quick little thing, but that was simply about it. And so, Chris, we're going to go ahead and start with you on this one. What was your thoughts on this squash match overall?
I had high hopes for it at the beginning. I mean, it seemed like it was going to be a good match. And it was for about 30 seconds. I mean, Kofi came back with some, fighting moves of his own, but Bobby Lashley kind of overtook him and kind of put him in misery, and that's pretty much the fight there, the match.
It was over before the bell rang.
Yeah.
It was over before it rang.
But Kofi put up a fight for about 30 seconds.
Yeah, for maybe about 30 seconds. Yeah, that was definitely about it. But Dragon Viper, how about you?
I really don't have much to say. It wasn't even, it's like what you said. It was a squash match, and it was. And, I didn't even think from the beginning that Kofi had any chance at all with, Lashley. So,
right.
Really not much to say on that one, honestly.
No, but I seriously thought that I didn't think that they were going to take a championship match and do a squash match. I seriously didn't think that. But Mess Around was like, yep, it's going to be a squash match. It's going to go fast. And then it ended up going fast. And now we know why, because, they have come out and they have basically stated how, it's going to be Lashley versus Goldberg at SummerSlam. So they have to build this up to make Lashley look strong for Goldberg. And that's basically what it comes down to. But Mess Around, what was your thoughts on this?
Well, like you said, I called it. I said I figured it was going to be a squash match because Kofi kind of pissed him off. Kind of got him back to being the dominant Bobby Lashley by calling him out on his shortcomings the last few weeks. My thing is, you have Xavier Woods, and I'm not taking anything away from Xavier Woods. He's talented, but you have Xavier Woods beat Lashley, and Kofi can't even get 4 moves in on him.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. It made no sense whatsoever. It seriously didn't make any sense. I don't know. Xavier beats him, and then Kofi gets squashed. So
we'll hear about it tomorrow.
Yeah, but maybe that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to light that candle and make it be like, okay, Lashley woke up because he got beat by Xavier. So he went off and he woke up, and now he's on a path of destruction since he lost to Xavier. And I really think that that's what it could end up being.
Yeah, I could see it.
All right, so now we jump into our next match at Money in the Bank. It's Dave's favorite. He was talking about it the whole time going, God, I hate this match so much, because it was Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. I told everybody before this started, I said Charlotte's going to win. They were already building up for it. And if you didn't know, you should have known. It was coming, man. It was coming. Charlotte Flair was going to win this match. There was just no way around it. But now, Dave, I know you're not a Charlotte fan. Dragon Viper, I know you're not a Charlotte fan. But you have to tell me, at least it was a good match. It was good. It was
good until Charlotte won.
But it was a good match. But it was a good match. It was a good match.
It was good. Like I said, it was good until Charlotte won.
But tell me, you saw that coming, right? You knew that Charlotte was going to win.
Well, yeah, every time she gets a championship match, 9 times out of 10, she's going to win.
Exactly. She's catching up to her dad just like that. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Yeah. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming really, really fast. But so Mess Around, I'm going to start out with you on this one then. your thoughts on the match without trying to be biased because Charlotte Flair was in the match or whatever. But tell me.
I don't want to talk about it. I really don't.
You don't even
Pass.
Why not?
He passes. Okay, so
I
we
don't
go
want to
to
either.
so we go to Chris. Chris, I guess we're discussing this match because they pass.
It was a good match. I mean, I think I had Charlotte going at the beginning of this, going to win this match. And, I mean, it was a back and forth thing. You know, there's a few times where I thought Charlotte was going to get disqualified. She pulled some tricks out of her sleeve, and ref caught her. But I mean, it was a good match overall, I thought.
So Christy Wilson is actually coming out saying that she thought that Nikki was going to come out and cash in on Charlotte. The only reason I really didn't think that was going to happen was simply due to the fact that she wasn't really injured. Like Charlotte wasn't injured in this match. Now, let's say Rhea would have won on with her injured knee or whatever. Then it could have been a possibility to where it would have been like, okay, Nikki will come down and cash in because Rhea's injured. But Charlotte wasn't injured at that point. So I'm like, Nikki's probably not going to cash in because she wasn't injured. Unless Nikki wanted that straight up match to be like, okay, well, Charlotte just wrestled, so I want a straight up match against Charlotte to see if I can beat her. So I'm going to come down and cash in.
Plus, I think they want to make a big deal out of it on Monday Night Raw that she actually won.
Oh, yeah. I definitely. And so Christy Wilson is saying, did you guys see Charlotte Flair flip off the crowd? Yep. Yes, I did. And Peacock actually tried to shut it off just a little bit because Peacock didn't want to see that. Right. It was crazy. They actually, but they tried to like blur it out and everything because Peacock's like, yep, we're not doing that. And I'm like, nope. Really? Are you kidding me? But anyways, so since Dragon Viper doesn't want to talk about the match, that's okay with me. We don't need to talk about your little match then. That's fine.
It was terrible. There, I talked about it. Terrible.
I heard Roman did the same thing on SmackDown the other night.
But Brandon is asking, did you guys hear the Becky Lynch chants?
Yes.
I did. Yeah.
Yes,
I did.
The Becky chants were there too.
Because everybody wanted Becky back.
Yeah,
well, I heard she was going to be in attendance. She was in the area. They're not at the time. They weren't sure if she was going to be in some way, in the events in some way, or just kind of watching. But apparently, she was there.
She was there. She could be like she was there in some capacity, but it's Chris. It's like you were trying to say. You thought that she might have somehow, interfered in one of the matches or something, but I didn't see it. I didn't think it was going to happen, and apparently, if she was there, she never came out. So I don't know. And
Brandon saying she was backstage.
Yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see if she's going to actually come out tomorrow on Raw. Who knows? Or
I was going
who's
to
to say she doesn't end up at SmackDown? Yeah, I'm just saying, who says she doesn't end up on SmackDown?
Right. To be with her man.
Oh, look who's on tonight. Look who's here to join us. That's right. It's the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Sarge himself. At first, when he changed his name, I really had to look at that, and I'm like, who is this person that's trying to hop on our live stream right now? I thought that somebody got a hold of her stream and wanted to hop on, and I'm like, who is this? And then I was like, oh, that's Sarge. Once I saw Sarge, I'm like, okay, that makes sense now.
Being Spanish over there.
Sarge, we're talking about we're talking about Charlotte and Rhea. What did you think of this match?
I thought the match was good. If you put Charlotte Flair in a match, you're gonna at least get a B+ average match. But adding Ripley to it, I thought it was great. The only downside, guess who won? Charlotte.
Charlotte.
And this is Yeah, this is her 14th
Charlotte.
title that she has. So she's 2 away from tying her father. So I can see her bypassing her father pretty soon.
She might pass her father before John Cena passes him.
Well, no one
Well,
can't see this, so
I don't know about that because, well, I'll get
We'll
into
talk
that
about
a
that
little
later.
bit later. Yeah, I'll get into a little bit of that later. But
Yeah.
but we can go ahead and we can jump into that next match of the night, which was actually men's Money in the Bank. So when we talk about men's Money in the Bank, we all actually had it a different way. I originally said Drew, and the reason I said Drew was typically because when you see Drew McIntyre in a match like that, I mean, come on. 9 times out of 10, Drew McIntyre is winning the match. That's typically why they put him in that match. So once they gave him that second chance and he won the match, and then they put him in the match, I'm like, oh, look where this is going. It's going to be another match where Drew McIntyre is going to win Money in the Bank and find a way around it to where he could cash it in on Lashley and be like, well, I'm still in the title picture because I have Money in the Bank. But
Yeah.
I was so glad that Jinder Mahal and his goons came down and took out Drew McIntyre. When they did that, I'm sitting there going, yes, 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 yes. I was so happy about that. Because then at that point, I'm like, yes, we're going to see a brand new winner. But Sarge, I'm going to start out with you. What was your thoughts on this match overall?
Man, I enjoyed watching Ricochet just go all out. I thought it was great. And it kind of did look like KO kind of took a little tumble on that. I'm disappointed with myself on this one because with our picks, I wrote down Big E before I said send. Then I erased it and put Drew McIntyre. Shame on me. And guess what? Big E won it. So I enjoyed the match. So.
But I will tell you this, Big E actually deserved it. He did. For as long as he's been there and everything he's been through, Big E is the guy who rightfully deserved that. And Sarge, you're right about one thing, man. Every time Ricochet is in a match, I enjoy watching him wrestle. That dude does something like super every time he's in the ring with it. Freaking jumping off getting pushed off the ladder, landing on the ropes and still flipping off the rope. I'm like, man, impressive again. And when he jumped from the apron a couple weeks ago and knocked Morrison off, I'm like, man, this has been freaking incredible. But mess around, what was your thoughts on this Money in the Bank match?
Match of the night, match of the year so far. I loved it, especially when you had Matt Riddle hit the RKO on a couple people. I love that too. And then Kevin Owens getting pulled down off the ladder and hits a couple stunners on people. Hits Shinsuke, I believe, with the pop-up powerbomb. Yeah, and then he got taken out on the ladder by Seth. It was a good match. I'm happy for Big E. I had Riddle winning this, sadly. I changed my pick at the last minute, like Sarge. I had Big E to begin with. And then I'm like, oh, I got to go for my bro, RK bro, Riddle. But and I also called Jinder and his goons taking out Drew too, so I love that. That was like the best part of the whole thing.
I'll tell you what, though, that big ending off the ladder was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like, that was sweet. All right, Chris, we're going to go to you. What was your thoughts on the Money in the Bank?
I thought the men's Money in the Bank was good. I feel like Riddle also is in amazement of Ricochet's moves because they showed a close-up view of his face. He's like, whoa. And I agree. He is a talented wrestler. I'm happy for Big E winning this. I mean, I know it's an individual title, but I think he's going to say that, hey, the New Day got, the Money in the Bank briefcase, and, they're going to make it a team thing. I had Johnny Drip Drip winning.
Johnny Drip Drip. Yes, you did, which I thought he was going to at that one point. I really thought he was going to because he was actually alone on the ladder, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna pull this off because he sprayed him in the face, and I'm like, John Morrison, oh my gosh, he's gonna actually do it. Johnny Drip Drip's gonna actually do this. But let's get to some comments really, really quick here. Brandon, here we go with the Goldberg. He's saying that he can't wait for Goldberg to show up tomorrow. Christy Wilson was saying, love this men's Money in the Bank ladder match. So happy for Big E. And Brandon was saying that the best part was when they drug Drew McIntyre away.
I know, that was pretty good.
Christy Wilson was saying, I had picked Big E to win. I would have been happy with Ricochet winning too. Hey, I would have been okay with that too. Imee saying that she was happy for Big E. And Christy's also saying that Ricochet is a human highlight reel. And Imee's even saying that she loves Ricochet. And I'll tell you what, I was actually watching a live video that people were talking about WWE wrestlers before.
Okay.
And they were saying, who compares in WWE to the skill set of AJ Styles? And I said, well, there's two people that come to mind. Number one is actually Seth Rollins. He comes to mind in the skill set. Number two, Ricochet. You got to add Ricochet in there because his skill set is phenomenal too.
I agree.
So Dragon Viper, you're left. You're the last one left.
Here comes Mr. Negativity.
Negativity. I'm agreeing with you, Mess Around. That was a match.
Oh my God.
I agree with you on that. I had Morrison win. There's 4 people in that match that could have won, and I'm glad 4 people that didn't deserve it. None of the 4 won, so I'm glad about that. I'm glad Big E won it. But I totally agree with you. Match of the night. I loved it. So there you go. There was no negativity there.
I thought you were going to go on around how Big E won and you don't like Big E and blah, blah, blah.
No, I have mentioned, and I'm going to say this again. I like Big E when he's alone. I don't like it with the New Day because I can't stand New Day. Big E alone, I like. So I'm glad he won it.
Yeah, because he's technically alone. He is technically alone right now.
So I was glad Big E is one of the 4 that deserved it. So I was glad one of the 4 that deserved it got it.
I seriously said I was okay with anybody winning it besides Drew McIntyre. Anybody else in the match I was completely okay with as long as it wasn't McIntyre.
Well, did you hear John Morrison or Johnny Drip Drip saying to Miz, you go back, I got this.
Right? Yeah. The only person that was missing in this match that I wish would have been in the match was number 1 was Dolph. I wish that Dolph was in this match.
He's good in these.
Yes, I would have loved to see Dolph Ziggler in this ladder match. It would have been fantastic. Yeah. And yes, you're saying Randy Orton, but he took some personal time off.
I know. But it would have been nice if you'd been in it.
And then we come to the main event of the night, which the main event of the night was Roman Reigns versus Edge. And we had already said prior to, I said there was no way that Edge was going to win this match because everybody knew it had already been confirmed for SummerSlam that it was going to be Super Cena versus Roman Reigns. And so when you look at the match, what happened, it was like back and forth action. At one point you thought, okay, Edge is going to win. You're like, nope, still not going to happen. Even though he locked in the crossface and then speared Reigns, you're like, yep, still not going to happen. Reigns is still going to win the match because, the Usos tried to interfere, but the Mysterio stopped them. But Rollins, everybody knew that Rollins was going to interfere. Everybody knew it because it was building for that rivalry of Rollins versus Edge. And everybody saw that coming. And so, at that point, once Reigns actually won, you had a hint that something was going to happen afterwards because he was just standing in the ring. He wasn't grabbing his belt and leaving. So you're like, something's going to happen. And then one of them, and then you hear, da, 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 and then all of a sudden, here comes John Cena out, and you can't see me. And so you're like, yeah, there it is. What happens every time there's somebody in the WWE that can't be beat? Who do they bring back? That's right, Super Cena. It's not John Cena, it's Super Cena. That's what they do every time. So that's what's going to happen at SummerSlam. Super Cena is going to come back at SummerSlam, face Reigns, and win the belt from Reigns. Super Cena is going to do it again. Mess around.
And break Flair's record in the process.
Yeah, you take this away.
This match, when it started out, was really dull and boring. I was like, is this over yet? Oh my God. And then at the end, they kind of picked up with when Reigns went for the spear and went through the barricade, and then Ed speared him through it. And then he put on the STFU at the end. That was kind of cool. And then he went for the Crippler crossface. But it was an okay match. Like you said, everybody knew Reigns was going to win. And yeah, Super Cena is going to win in SummerSlam too.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I thought was kind of cool about it at the end is when Rollins actually looked at Reigns, because Rollins had a great point. Looked at Reigns and said, you know what? You better be thanking me because Edge would be champion right now if it wasn't for me. I saved you. I saved you. I was like, yes, it's true. It's true. I'm like, Rollins, you let Reigns know. That was all you.
Yeah.
That was all you.
Also, at the beginning of the match, the funny part was when Edge looked at Reigns, he's like, I can do this all day. Talking about out wrestling him. I can do this all day. And I don't know, I during the match, I heard some CM Punk chants. Anybody else hear that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody's going CM Punk.
But he's not
CM
coming
Punk.
back unless there's like a stipulation or something. But
He won't come back. He won't come
He's a
back.
police officer now.
He's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, he's a police officer now. He's got a mustache and everything else, so he's done.
Yeah, he's pretty much done. But anyways, Chris, you go ahead and take this one away.
I agree. It was kind of slow at the beginning. I think you guys were saying it was going to be another squash match, and then Edge kind of, fought it out. He fought out some moves, some submission holds, and he was trying to get back in it, and I thought he would. He was starting to make a fight out of it, doing a spear to Reigns into the barricade, and I mean before that Reigns did the same thing, so it was a kind of a counter move. But in the middle of it, it was a good match. It was just kind of slow. I kind of figured Reigns was going to win, though. I was hoping for Edge, but
Yeah, I just think that championship matches should be won straight up and not just have interference in like almost every single champion. I think it's ridiculous when they continue to do that over. It should just be straight up. And I think it might be with Super Cena and Roman when that happens. But Sarge, go ahead and take it away.
Well, I'm kind of happy Fruity Pebbles is back, so that's awesome. The match went how I kind of predicted was going to go. Of course, Reigns was going to win. There was no way that Edge could win whatsoever. I thought, like you guys said, it was slow at the beginning, but it did pick up and everything. And it seems like it's the WWE's MO now is just the title matches have to have an interference if you have someone like Reigns. And I'm going to say this. Reigns is money for WWE. I'm saying it because
I
we
agree.
all hate him. I mean, WWE made it possible for us to hate someone so much that we're actually watching him, seeing if he's going to actually lose one night. So maybe, maybe Super Cena can do it with his 5 moves of doom. I don't know. Let's see if he can do it. But Christy Wilson put a comment out there saying that I thought for sure that Big E was going to go and cash in on Roman.
I did too.
It's too soon for Big E, but if it was like for Nikki ASH, how her character is being played, I could see that for Nikki. Simple with that. So
Yeah.
that's my takes on that.
All right, Dragon Viper, this comes to you.
No, I agree. It started off slow, but and picked up, and I thought it was an okay match. I'm kind of irritated because
Of course you are.
When aren't you?
well, no. See, the thing is that
It's fine.
in my opinion, Edge should have won it. The
I agree.
reason why I'm saying that is because when he lost his title, or when he left, he never lost his title. They should have given it back, even if it's for a short, couple weeks. They should have given it back given it to Edge. And then they want to pull this story about Cena and Reigns. Fine. But give it a couple weeks or something. But I think Edge should have at least had a chance to win the title for, some time period.
Don't worry, it's coming. Edge will get it back. He'll get it.
Well, I hope so. Probably beating Cena or something. But it irritated me that Roman won, and maybe one match out of, we'll say, 30. Roman sits there and wins alone. The other 29 matches, he can't win by himself ever, minus the one match, So it irritates me that every single time he's wrestling, every single time, whether if it's a title match, non-title match, doesn't matter, they always want him to have help, and it's ridiculous. And it makes me sick that he's standing there going, nobody can beat me, knowing that he had help. So I think that storyline's stupid, and yeah, the match was okay, but I am so sick of Roman Reigns. So I'll be looking forward to at least somebody like Cena beating him.
Well, all right. Thank you for that enlightenment right there.
You're welcome.
All right. So just everybody, you guys can give me your grade on how you would grade Money in the Bank. Chris, I'll start with you. What was your overall grade on Money in the Bank?
Probably because of the fans' involvement in it, probably an A.
Oh,
It's been a while since we had fans in the stands, and in an event like this. So I thought it was an overall good event.
wow, I haven't heard somebody give WWE an A for a while. All right. How about you, Sarge?
I'm gonna have to give it with a C. This way, how
C.
some things went. I was actually disappointed with the fans during the women's Money in the Bank match. They were not in it whatsoever. It was quiet, and it felt like a bunch of noobs watching the show. So I'm giving it a C+.
C+. All right. Dragon Viper, how about yourself?
I'm gonna, with everything on that, I'm gonna give it a C+ as well. I'm not happy about Flair winning the title. I'm not happy that Reigns won the title, or retained the title. So overall, I'd give it a C.
All right. And then Mess Around, how about you?
Just because it had the fans back, and the fans made the show really. So only because the fans were there, I'm going to give it a B+.
Yeah, I was right there with you, Mess Around. I said a solid B. A solid B, not quite an A, but a solid B. Big B, how about yourself?
For the pay-per-view tonight, God, it was phenomenal to see everything. A lot of action, a lot of great matches. I'm with you and Mess Around. Solid B, B+.
Yeah, I think this is what we've been waiting on for WWE for a while, to put together a show like this, because we know it had been bland for so long. But tonight, this was actually action-packed, even though some of the outcomes were kind of crazy, but still, this is what we've been waiting for. The fans are back. It's fantastic to see now. So a few of the comments that were rolling in, we have Christy Wilson who's saying, I'm with Dragon Viper. I'm sick of Roman myself. I think everybody is. That's why we tune in to see if Roman's going to lose. And then
I'm sick of him, but I like the gimmick. I like the character that he's portraying.
You're the only one.
See, I'm with Big B.
So I'm the smart one.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Big B on this one because the way how his storyline is, how his character is at this moment in time. I mean, that's where I have to agree with Big B on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying like all the time. I'm just saying like right now how his character is built. Like, the table. So that's where I'm at on that one.
Yeah. But, hey, at the beginning of the show, did anybody kind of think that maybe the Usos were going to turn on them the way they were acting in the locker room? I kind of got that feeling a little bit.
Well, the way that Jimmy was acting.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, because Jimmy's like, yeah, me too. I acknowledge you as
like
head of the table.
Care,
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, so he might be turning.
Jimmy
But-
still doesn't seem like he's in it. So
No.
No,
Well, no,
and
but
when they came out, and if I didn't see the Mysterios come up behind them, I would have put money on that they're returning on Roman. But
did
they,
you hear?
they showed the Mysterios coming right out after him, so you knew it wasn't going to happen.
Did
Right.
you hear what Roman said too? He like, you can hold on to those for now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
kind of tell him what to do.
All right. Well, our other comments we have in the comment section, we have Amy saying that she gives it a B. And we have Christy Wilson who's saying that she gives it a C. She also says, I think the Usos are going to turn on Roman. It's just a matter of time. It will.
Oh, of course.
It'll get there. It'll get there.
Yeah, it will.
It'll definitely get there. All right. So now we're coming to the last part of the night, which you know how we do. You know how we do up in here. So the last part of the night, that's right. We have our little fantasy bookings that we've been doing every single week. We are now officially on week 3. And so for this one, you know what? Mess around, Dave. You go ahead and you start. What do you got for fantasy
All right,
bookings
what do we
tonight?
got for week 3? Let's see. Hold on, I got to pull it up here. All right, so week 3, show starts out with Chris Casanova in the ring. He says he should be tag team champs, but was forced to tag with someone he's never teamed with before. And although Cody is extremely talented, he's not like his current partner, who he talked the Raw GM into signing to a contract. And they will have a tag team match later tonight against Kofi and Angelo Dawkins. First match tonight is a triple threat match for the women's title. Carmella versus Becky Lynch versus Ruby Riott. In a back and forth match that sees multiple near falls, Carmella puts Becky Lynch into Dakota Silence and Lynch taps out. Mella is money. She's now the new champ. Match 2 is Shinsuke versus Chris Jericho. Karrion Kross interferes. Jericho distracts the ref. Kross hits lights out, and then Jericho locks in the balls of Jericho. Shinsuke was already out due to the lights out by Kross, so the ref calls for the bell, giving Jericho the win. Match 3, we have 2-on-1 handicap match. Otis versus Isaiah Scott and Kushida. Otis dominates the match and hits a middle rope splash on both Scott and Kushida and covers them both for the 1-2-3 in the win. Match 4, we got Dexter Lumis versus Apollo Crews. Lumis goes for a sleeper, and then Crews rolls him up for the win. The ref uses a fast count. After the match, Lumis attacks the ref, putting him through the announce table. Match 5, we have Bane Bailey versus Randy Orton. Bane Bailey wins with the time as Daniel Bryan came out and distracted Orton. In the main event, Chris Casanova comes out and introduces his new tag team partner, Rob Wilds. Chris Casanova and Rob Wilds versus Kofi Kingston and Dawkins. In a back and forth match, Rob gets a hot tag after Dawkins and Kingston work over Casanova, and he comes in and cleans house, clotheslining Kofi out of the ring, and then hits Dawkins with a flying crossbody, and then tags in Casanova, who hits the frog splash from the top rope and then pins Dawkins for the win, and your new tag team champs, Rob Wilds and Chris Casanova.
Which their tag team name, just in case you want to know, their actual tag team names is called the Apocalypse. All right, so, all right, Tim Fielder, this comes to you.
Who?
Sarge.
Who?
El
All right.
Segundo.
All right. So, at the beginning of the show, I have a big announcement for Impact. I have decided to go make a GM with Impact. The GM for Impact is none other than Preston Steele. And Preston Steele does have an announcement. And there is going to be a number 1 contender match for the Impact Championship belt tonight between Sheamus and Samoa Joe. But we're going to start with some tag team action with Shelton Benjamin and John Morrison, who are the tag team titles. They're taking on the new fashion, the True Bros, with R-Truth, Zack Ryder, and Riddle. Of course, Shelton Bridget hit the crosstone suplex, and John Morrison hit his finisher right at the top of the end onto Zack Ryder, and woo, woo, woo. That was a 1, 2, 3 for Shelton Bridgman and John Morrison. Then we got, again, Nikki Cross versus Chelsea Green. As before the match could start, Tamina, she attacked Nikki Cross because Nikki Cross, of course, as everyone should remember, she is the women's or the Knockouts champion for Impact. Right there. And Preston Steele comes out and creates a Knockouts title match for the pay-per-view that's coming up. I believe it's, 2 weeks?
Yes.
In 2
Week
weeks.
5.
Nikki Cross versus Tamina. So we got Johnny G, everyone should know, Johnny Garanjo versus Montez Ford with Ford the win. Ford did his high-flying, I love his frog splash reverse almost. I just love it how he changes in the middle of the fight, and he pinned Johnny Garanjo. Then we got Fandango versus Drew Gulak, and Fandango dances his way to a win with that. So we're going to go to the main event with Sheamus versus Samoa Joe. This is like a slobber knocker. We got two heavyweights. We got a guy who loves to fight, and Samoa Joe, who is always angry all the time. So they get into slugging. Then Sheamus hit the white noise on the announce table, and by the time that he tried to get Samoa Joe inside the wrestling ring, he comes to and pushes Sheamus to the ground, back to the ground, and punches him and kicks him at the barrier. Then Samoa Joe, he plows him through the barrier, and both men are down, and it comes into a double count out. Then John Moxley, who is your Impact champion, comes out and just bashes them with chairs left and right for about 2 minutes. Until Preston Steele announces the number one contender match is going to be next week, where no man can get out in a steel cage match between Sheamus and Samoa Joe. The end.
Nice. All right, Dragon Viper.
All right, so SmackDown starts with Cedric Alexander, Bobby Lashley, and MVP in the ring. MVP mentioned that he was proud of Alexander for becoming champion, and he mentioned that him and Lashley wanted him back in the Hurt Business, as they felt that Alexander was the stronger one of the two between him and Benjamin. So Alexander accepted the offer and joined the Hurt Business. Then all of a sudden, Matt Hardy comes down and challenged all three of them to a match. So the Hurt Business starts laughing about it, and MVP says, you can't take all three of us on. And then here comes Buddy Murphy coming out, and Hurt Business is still laughing, going, making fun of him, saying, you two? Yeah, right. We'll hurt you. And then here comes Goldberg's music starting, and then Goldberg comes from behind and starts attacking them. So all of a sudden, Hardy and Murphy come down the ring and help Goldberg beat up the Hurt Business, and the Hurt Business is walking up the rampway, and MVP challenges Matt Hardy and Murphy and Goldberg to a 6-man elimination tag match later in the night, and they accepted. Well, backstage, Natalya asked why she attacked her partner last week after their loss of the tag titles. Natalya said she doesn't surround herself with losers, that she hangs out with winners. Well, Caden Carter walks up to Natalya and said, asked, loser, we will see what kind of loser I am when I beat you tonight. Natalya walks away saying, yeah, we'll see. First match was Shayna Baszler versus Tegan Nox, with the winner being Tegan Nox, thanks to a distraction from Bayley. In the back, Baszler, the camera showed Baszler looking for Bayley, but she can't find her. Match 2, Kaden comes down and says that she will be the winner as Natalya is washed up. Natalya comes down and the match starts. Kaden Carter versus Natalya, with the winner being Kaden Carter. Kane walks up the ramp laughing. Bayley comes down to the ring and says if Baszler wants her, she can have her. Baszler comes down and heads to the ring. Bayley laughed and said, nope, not tonight, though, at the pay-per-view. Bayley mentioned she wanted a tag match, though, against Baszler right there, right now, as Bayley had already had a partner lined up. So, because she knew Baszler didn't have any friends. So it looked like it was going to be a handicap match. Baszler said, you know what, I could take both of you on. Who's your partner? And here comes Sasha Banks. So the match was a handicap match, Bayley and Sasha Banks versus Shayna Baszler. Well, in the middle of the match, an interesting theme song comes on and walks down AJ Lee. So AJ says that she was going to be Baszler's partner because she respects Baszler for what she did before going to WWE, as her husband did the same thing in the UFC. So the match restarted, Bayley and Banks versus Baszler and AJ Lee. The winners were actually Bayley and Banks. Afterwards, Baszler and Lee looked at Bayley and Banks and told them that it was not over. Mustafa Ali with Mace and Slapjack versus The Fiend with Kane and Demon Balor. The winner was Mustafa Ali. During the match, Mace and Slapjack were fighting with Kane and Balor, which caused a distraction to The Fiend, which allowed Ali to win with a roll-up. Notice a roll-up. Then we have match 5, which is the main event. The Hurt Business versus Hardy, Murphy, and Goldberg. The elimination 6-man tag match. The winners were the Hurt Business. Matt Hardy and Murphy were eliminated on that side. MVP and Lashley were eliminated, where it came down to Alexander and Goldberg. Well, Goldberg was about to hit the spear, and all of a sudden, Matt Hardy came down and hit Goldberg in the head with a steel chair, and helped Alexander win the match. And the show ended with Matt Hardy staying side by side with the three other members of the Hurt Business.
All right.
My creative mind, I tell you.
Your creative mind. So, Big B, you want me to read yours or you got it?
Go ahead.
All right.
No, go ahead. I don't got mine. I'm on my phone, so.
All right. So, when it comes to week 3, keep in mind this is Big B's AEW. So, week 3 for AEW. Show starts out with the GM in the ring. GM, tonight we have an action-packed card, but our main event might not happen. Roman Reigns is being checked over by our doctors after the beating he took last week at the end of our show. Kenny Omega comes out with Omos and Titus. Kenny grabs a mic. Then Kenny says, per my contract, I don't wrestle before any pay-per-view unless I want to. So if our 6-man tag match is not happening tonight, then it is a forfeit and we get the win. GM, well, just then Seth came out along with Corbin and are standing at the top of the ramp. Seth, you so know that I or Corbin won't back down from a fight. I know Roman will do what he can to get clear. So if it is 2 versus 3 or 3 versus 3, we want the match tonight. GM, okay, it is set whether Roman is clear or not. Our main event will happen. So match 1, you have Mark Henry versus Oney Lorcan versus Jackson Riker. Winner will get a shot at the TV title. Mark Henry just seemed to be too much for both guys. Oney and Jackson are outside the ring talking. Then they circle the ring. Both seem to get ready to get in the ring. Oney would get in. Jackson would jump down. Henry would attack Oney. He would hit the big power slam when Jackson would come in and hit Henry with a lead pipe. He then would cover Oney for the 3 count. Winner, Jackson Riker. And then you have match 2, the 6-woman tag winning team to face off next week to see who will face AEW Women Champ at pay-per-view. So you have Shotzi Blackheart, Indy Hartwell, and Raquel Gonzalez versus Dana Brooke, Tessa Blanchard, and Charlotte Flair. A great match between both teams. Ripley's music hit and she comes out. Flair starts to leave the ring. Brooke tried to stop her, but Flair punches her and runs right for Ripley. Gonzalez would hit her finisher, tag in Hartwell, who would hit a flying elbow for the cover and win. Winner, Blackheart, Hartwell, and Gonzalez. So you have match 3, Ray and Dominic versus the Minnesota Bullies. Keep in mind the Minnesota Bullies were Rowan and Gable. For the tag team titles, Ray and Dominic, with their fast-paced, high-flying moves, seem to be too much for Bullies. Ray hits the 619 on Gable. He then tags in Dominic, who hit a flying frog splash for the win. Winner and new AEW tag champs Ray and Dominic. After the match, through the crowd came Riddick Moss, who starts to attack the champ with the help from Rowan. From the back came out our bad boy Big B, who chases away Moss and Rowan. B will help up Ray only to powerbomb him. Then he would do the same to Dominic. So match 4, you have KO versus Pete Dunne for the TV title and a submission match. You have this match was a brawl from the start. KO seemed to have the upper hand, but did not want to end it. Dunne barely can stand up. The ref is telling KO to end it. KO would hit a stunner on the ref. The music of the GM would hit. He would come out and call for the match to end, and the winner via DQ is Pete Dunne. KO would get upset and hit stunners on Dunne and the ref again before leaving the ring. So match 5 was Casey Catanzaro versus Rhea Ripley for the AEW Women's title. Rhea would have the upper hand through the match. She is setting up to finish off Casey when Blackheart, Hartwell, and Gonzalez would come out. The ref is trying to get the 3 ladies to leave. Ric Flair would come from the crowd and hit Ripley with a low blow or a lower blow on DDT, then would put Casey on top of Ripley. Ref would turn around and count the 3. Winner and new AEW champ, Casey Catanzaro. And then you have your main event, which is the match 6. You have the Bullet Club 2.0. Kenny Omega, Omos, and Titus versus Corbin, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. As Bullet Club are in the ring, the Shield's music hits. As Rollins is shown at the top of the stairs, then out comes Corbin is in full Shield gear. They make their way down through the crowd. Corbin and Kenny are in the ring before they lock up. Kenny tag in Omos. Omos would lock up with Corbin and get tossed back to his corner. Corbin would tag in Rollins. Rollins would attack, but Omos would toss him away. Rollins and Corbin would regroup outside. Finally, they would rush the ring and attack. All the men are in the ring brawling. The ref would wave for help to break it up. Out runs Roman. He hit the ring. Kenny leave the ring. Titus would try and attack Roman, but would get speared. Roman would hit Omos with a Superman punch. They then would set up Omos of a triple power bomb. Rollins then would curb stomp Omos, then tag in Corbin, who would hit the end of days and cover for the win. Winner Corbin, Rollins, and Roman. Interesting.
Wow.
So I'll keep mine short and brief here. I'll go through the winners really quick. So mine, don't forget mine's NXT. It's week 3 for NXT. The opening, we open the show with a tag team match. The winning team will face off against each other at the next pay-per-view for the Cruiserweight title. So you start match 1. You have a normal match, which is Grand Metalik and Humberto Carrillo versus Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish. The winning team is, that's right, Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish. And then a promo would happen to where Bianca Belair comes out and shoots a promo on Alexa Bliss saying she has to use Lily and her powers in order to beat her in a match. Belair demands a rematch from Alexa. Alexa comes out and says, a match sounds fun, but let's make a tag team match with her partner being Peyton Royce. Belair accepts, and she says she would find a partner. And then match 2, you have a normal match, and the winner gets inserted into the ladder match at the next pay-per-view for the North American Championship, and this is Edge versus Tyler Breeze. And Tyler Breeze cheats his way to a victory over Edge. So Tyler Breeze is now inserted into the North American Championship match at the pay-per-view. And then you have match 3, which is a normal match. You have Damian Priest versus Bronson Reed. And Damian Priest, that's right, Damian Priest, that bad man himself, ends up beating Bronson Reed. So he's starting to look strong. He's He's winning. He's getting in there. And then another promo, Braun comes out and reminds Lesnar that this week he tied the best of 7 at 1, and that the first match Lesnar got lucky and Strowman will win the next 3 to become your new NXT champion, and he will see Lesnar later tonight in a Falls Count Anywhere match. So you have match 4, it's a tag team match. You have Alexa Bliss and Peyton Royce versus Bianca Belair, and then of course her partner in Reckoning. The winner was Bianca Belair in Reckoning because Alexa decided to walk away from Peyton Royce because she was upset with Peyton Royce. Match 5, you have a tables match. You have 2 guys who are entered in the ladder match at the pay-per-view for the North American Championship. You have Jeff Hardy versus Keith Lee in a table match. The winner of that was Keith Lee. Keith Lee was too much and too strong for Jeff Hardy, so he put him through the table for the victory. And then match 6, you have your Falls Count Anywhere match, Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar. Braun Strowman took it to Lesnar throughout the match. Lesnar was only able to get a couple moves in a squash match. Strowman did a squash match on Lesnar in a Falls Count Anywhere. Your winner, and up 2-1 in the series, Braun Strowman. That's right. I cut it fast. I did it fast. I cut down a lot of my stuff.
Jeez.
So
you got Strowman looking strong. You got Viper making Cedric Alexander looking strong.
Hey, at least I'm doing Strowman versus Lesnar like realistic champions. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Goldberg
has to be born sometime.
All right, so mess around. What was your favorite match that somebody constructed?
One of my favorite matches probably have to be the Alexa Bliss one where she left Peyton Royce to hang and dry.
Right. Okay. How about you, Dragon Viper?
I think mine was the Chris Cavanova Rob Wild's tag match where they won the tag titles.
Yeah, that was cool. I wasn't expecting that.
I wasn't
Sarge.
I gotta say, I gotta go with the realistic one, Braun Strowman versus Lesnar. I think that was awesome.
That's right. Thank you. All right, Big B.
Well, I mean, the best out of 7 is going to be nice, but, Viper with his creativity over there with the Hurt Business, and then, it's going to be kind of interesting to see how Matt Hardy fits in, maybe he'll be the money and the backbone of the Hurt Business. So that was I think that the swerve was a pretty good one over there.
Definitely. That was definitely a big swerve. But Big B, I like where you're going with this whole kind of the Shield 2.0, I must say, with putting Corbin in there. That's kind of interesting. I wasn't expecting that at all.
I got big plans for the next one, so a little teaser there. So
all right. I can't wait for that. We're 2 weeks away from a pay-per-view, so it's going to be interesting to see how that turns out. But anyways, you got 30, 45 seconds to wrap up whatever it is you want to say. Mess around. Let's start with you.
It's time for me to go to bed. I'm tired.
Time for mess around to go to bed. All right.
Well, he's got to practice sleeping.
Yeah.
I love the Miz. This comes to you. You got 30, 45 seconds.
Thank you guys for watching tonight's episode and commenting. We got great shows coming to you this week, and just stay and tune in.
Dragon Viper.
Yep, I agree. I agree with Mr. I Love the Miz.
All right, cool. Thanks. Sarge.
Oh, wow. Anyway, yeah, thank you.
No, I said when my hand goes up, your mouth
goes
shut. It's on to the Sarge.
Do I ever listen? No. So I'm going to keep going. So, no, I just want to thank everybody for commenting. It's fun to do this every week, and we continue to do this. Just continue watching and leaving comments, and yeah, it's very fun.
All right, Sarge.
All right, I saw something pretty cool yesterday. I saw Dragon Viper. He was wearing a Seth Rollins t-shirt yesterday, so welcome, brother.
I'm
He's
not
embracing the
the
vision.
vision.
He was.
He's embracing the vision. He's
No.
finally embracing the vision. Thank you.
No.
All right. And then Big B, what you got?
Thanks, everybody commenting. I think tonight was probably one of the best pay-per-views WWE's put on in a while, and the fans, I think, definitely were the MVPs tonight in that pay-per-view. So,
All right. Well, we do want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you for leaving comments. We hope you enjoyed another episode of Between the Ropes. And remember, all you have to do, if you don't believe you can do something, all you have to do is think really hard, and you can do it. And all you have to do is
No.
believe you can do it. So everybody have a great night, and we will see you again. Have a great night.